Yo, 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 it's me back again with more Tacky Time. So yeah, it's the second episode of Tacky Time. It's still as tacky as before. Don't worry. Yeah, let's get into whatever you had to talk about. I said I was gonna do research. I didn't. There wasn't a whole lot today. So I think all we're gonna do is talk about the Mama Awards. Or Mama, basically. This award is in the title of Mama. It stands for Mnet Asian Music Awards. And it just happened earlier today, as of this recording. So, yeah, I'll talk about that. And also the New York Times manga bestseller list has the top 10 manga of the week every single week. Unfortunately, I missed 3 weeks, but pretty much kind of a month. And so as of today, I've got 4 of them that we can go through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through them kind of fast, especially the first one, and then go through the other ones and see how things changed in just a month. Probably one fell out as it came in a new volume. Was pretty popular the first week, but then fell out a few weeks later, or maybe it stayed in. Who knows? So we'll look at that as well. I'm not sure what else happened recently. I think I pretty much covered most of the stuff yesterday that would have happened. The crossover is finished now. The DC TV crossover. I thought it was pretty good. Again, I just felt like maybe I don't know. It felt like they had their own stories going on as well as that, and that took away a lot from the fighting aliens thing, and then how they defeat. Obviously, they defeat the aliens. Come on, guys. That's that. I wouldn't call that a spoiler. They're gonna defeat every bad guy they fight, pretty much. So yeah, but I felt they didn't really fight them a whole lot. They just kind of distracted them. So overall, I think they could have done it better with the aliens, but it was still good. And now we can have some really good crossover. I think the next one they're gonna get it kind of perfect at that point, because at this point you still had the meetings with a lot of the characters, like Supergirl, that she just comes in, it's like with her eyes and makes like the Superman logo or Supergirl, or the S symbol basically on the ground. And it was just kind of cheesy to me. I was just like, I don't feel like you would actually do that if all this stuff, I mean, yeah, it's not super serious, but because we have tons of superpowers and stuff, but I feel like some of the scenes they just they were a bit too cheesy in there, but there's a lot of good stuff. Hopefully, we won't have as many problems. I think they're getting better and better as we go along. But this one, I think, had a lot of problems because they didn't really focus on the crossover as being the main story. Whereas before, the storylines in that crossover between Arrow and the Flash, that was pretty much leading to Legends of Tomorrow. So they kind of had to have the stories. I mean, yeah, there was other stuff there, but I felt like the stories, they were for the Hawkgirl and Hawkman. It was all from that. It all made sense in that way. Whereas these, they felt like more just regular episodes with that kind of as a little sample size. Like, you didn't really see a whole ton of like crossover. It was mostly just regular stuff with them there for like 10 minutes of the episode. So I just think you need more of them working together, and their camaraderie and stuff, and seeing different people's reactions to different, which we did see a bit of, but I don't think we saw maybe enough, or what I wanted. I would just watch all those episodes to just be about the crossover, and the other stuff would be like 10 minutes, where I felt like they were the 30 minutes. Because I thought the Flash, I was like, okay, Supergirl didn't really have anything to do with it. Flash still had a lot with what was happening in the Flash. Arrow didn't necessarily have a lot that's going on in the current season with it, the episode. But that was because it was the 100th episode, so they kind of revisited a bunch of stuff from before and paid homage to things that they'd done before, which was really cool. But again, they didn't really have a lot of stuff with aliens in that one. And then in the Legends of Tomorrow one, they also had some differences. I mean, they had the most aliens in Legends of Tomorrow, but I think that still they did other stuff. There was other stuff happening that felt kind of like they were putting more importance into that than the crossover storyline. So I just hope they they put more into that next time. Yeah, I don't know why I'm supposed to like everything, but apparently now I don't now I don't like everything. Hopefully we'll get back to the point where I am okay and fine with everything. Usually I'm fine with these. I just thought it was a little weird that it's like a 4 night crossover, but it just kind of feels like the regular episodes were just a little like you could have made this one episode really. Like pretty much all the stuff. If you take out all the extra stuff that they put on, you could have really done this in one episode. So I think that was where it was so stretched out that it was just it didn't feel right anymore. So that's all. But I think that I mean the big thing was Supergirl didn't really have anything to do with it at all. So they need to either make it a 3 part crossover or include the Supergirl universe a lot more. Anyway, the Marvel Awards happened recently, and I watched it live. Through the loss of sleep did happen because of that. I'm fine, guys. Don't worry. Like you care. But yeah, they were great. They were great. They were a lot better than last year. Weirdly enough, they didn't have Big Bang, so you would think that they wouldn't be as good. But I think that YG not being there actually kind of helped because you got to see other people have a lot more of a chance to kind of show themselves. Whereas last year, you had BTS, they had like 3 minutes to perform. This time they had a lot more, and they were able to do a lot better performance. EXO had a great performance they were able to do. Different and 17 had a collaboration, and I thought it was very good with them both doing. I think it was very nice that they did together, and I liked how even though Different had a bit of a different choreography for it, I feel like it's still them doing that part. It was just cool to see. IY and Twice kind of had a collaboration, not necessarily, but they did good as well. There was some technical difficulties with the site that I was watching it on, which it wasn't like some weird site that did really like, well, we've got like a pirated copy or something. No. It wasn't anything weird. It was from KCON TV, but their site had so many people on it that it kind of broke down a few times. So I missed Monster X's performance, but I believe they had a collaboration with GOT7. So I got to see a bit of GOT7's at least, and that was cool. There was also a ton of other cool stuff. The awards were kind of predictable because pretty much if you were there, you were gonna get the award. So it's like NCT was the kind of only rookie boy group there from this year, so it was kind of obvious that they were gonna win the rookie boy group award. IY the same. That since Blackpink wasn't there, they won. So I thought that was good because I think they deserve an award because they're going to break up soon. Yeah, either in January or February of 2017. So they don't have much time left. They're not going to be able to win another Mama. So now at least the group has gotten one, which I think they did deserve at least one. So I like that. And Blackpink, they can get a ton of stuff. They can get, Artist of the Year or whatever, in 3 years or whatever. So they can still get a ton of awards, whereas IOI, this is really the only type of award they could get, necessarily, I think. But yeah, pretty much all of them were pretty easily guessed. Okay, they're gonna win. But I did like it that everybody there that I thought deserved it did get at least one award. So if, let's say, Taeyeon won the best, I don't know, best solo female artist, then Ailey won the best vocal performance or whatever. So they both got awards, even though maybe would want to switch it up or something. I don't know. But anyway, that was all good. The shocker kind of was that Twice actually won one of the big awards, which I was not expecting. Since they were really the only girl group there besides G-Friend, there wasn't really a huge competition for the best female group of the year, so they won that. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, and then G-Friend won another award, I believe, for female dance performance or dance performance overall. I'm not sure, one of those. But Twice actually won Song of the Year, so that was very surprising. And people got a little mad because they wanted BTS or EXO to get that, but then BTS won Artist of the Year, so that made all the armies happy. Good. We don't need more fan wars between the army and once that was not good. I'm glad that's over. That was just not nice. At first I would be like, okay, let's have them interact. Now I'm like, just have their comebacks at different times because I don't want to have to deal with everybody fighting demons. You can't even watch their video on YouTube. It's like, really? You think that's gonna hurt their chances of winning? But yeah, they did. But anyway, and then EXO of course won Album of the Year, the last of the three Daesung or Daesung, something like that, awards. The three big awards. So yeah, everybody's kind of happy. Then they're like, yeah, okay, great. So overall, it was a great show. There was a bit of times they have some stuff. They have all the big groups, and then there's some soloists like Zico and Ailey and people like that I do know. But then there's other people. Some of the rappers and more R&B type singers I do know a bit of, like Crush, but some of the other ones I don't know as well. So I wasn't as attuned to the type of music that they did, and so I didn't find their performances as exciting really as the other ones. But most music shows usually have a few that you're just like, yeah, whatever. We didn't really need them there, but some people seem to want to see them. So at least they were happy seeing them. But yeah, so overall, I think it was much better than last year's. Last year's it felt just a little weird. This time it felt like they did a bit better, or a lot better. I felt really happy watching it. And yeah, so see you next year. But just remember, guys, that I forgot to vote a lot. But I'm still pretty much happy with with the results. So guess what? You don't need to vote because it doesn't matter unless YG comes next year, which they probably will because they'll want to get Blackpink some awards. Although Blackpink did win an award, the best music video of 2016. So you might have thought I forgot about that. They did win one award. The one award that I was a bit disappointed by was I wanted FT Island to win the Best Band Award, and Seeing Blue won it, which I like Seeing Blue, but I didn't really like their newest song that they had, their newest comeback, so I would have wanted FT Island to get that. But besides that, all the awards I think pretty much went to who I either wanted to or guessed that it would go to. So yeah. Cool. So let's get to the what is it called? The top 10 manga of the week for the past month, pretty much. So as you can see, here is the first month. So I shall read them out. At number 1 is One Punch Man. Number 9, which I was not going to cover these maybe, but I realized that especially this week a lot of big ones come out. So I wanted to cover it to kind of just tell you that those came out. So One Punch Man Volume 9 came out that week, and it was the week of October 31st through November 5th, because they take it from every Friday to Friday, so that's why it might seem a little weird to you. You're like, wait a minute, that wasn't that part of that week, but it's because it was from Friday to Friday. Next was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, or The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, actually. Legendary Edition, which is the manga of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time video game, I'm guessing. Yeah, Legend of Zelda manga. I'm pretty sure I heard it was good. So yeah, that's finally come out in English. Next is My Hero Academia 6. I say the numbers sometimes instead of the volumes. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stardust Crusaders 1 comes in at number 4. That might not be new. I feel like that's not new. I don't know. But the first volumes do come in sometimes. But there's not a new volume. It's weird. Sometimes they just randomly jump in. You're like, why is that there? It's just like, the first volume's popular, I guess. Next is One Piece 80. This was another big one. Bleach 68. I'm not sure if that's the last volume of Bleach. I don't think so, because I think the English release of Bleach and pretty much all manga is a bit behind, because I feel like with like My Hero Academia, I feel like there was like 2 or 3 volumes already out in Japan that weren't out here yet. So I don't think it's to the end of Bleach yet, but still, you know, get into those last few chapters of Bleach. Tokyo Ghoul 9 was then next, then Tokyo Ghoul 1, then One Punch Man 1, and then Tokyo Ghoul 8. So, of course, we also have the rankings, but you can kind of guess. One Punch Man 9 came in at number 1, and then Tokyo Ghoul 8 came out at 10. So you can kind of guess from there where the other ones went. So now we will move on to the next week to see what they did that week. So next week, The Legends of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Is this the right one? Yes, it is. Okay, so the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time then jumped to the number 1 spot, so it was very popular. It was at the number 2 spot on its first week. Jumped up to number 1 on the next week. One Punch Man, number 9. Did I say 9 before? I hope not. Anyway, One Punch Man Volume 9 comes in at number 2 that week, so we moved down 1 from the first spot. My Hero Academia 6 stayed at the same spot, 3. Tokyo Ghoul 1 moved up from 8 to 4. Tokyo Ghoul 9 moved up from 7 to 5, so those both move up. One Piece 80 moves from 5 to 6, so it moves 1 up to make room for Tokyo Ghoul 9. Bleach 68 moves up to make room for One Piece, so it's at 7. One Punch Man 1 comes in at number 8 this week. It was 9 last week, so it moves up a bit. Fire Force, which I have no idea what that is. Sometimes you just have these weird these weird manga that I've never heard of, and they just get a slight boost because they somehow start to get popular, which I think is cool, because I mean, that's how it happens in Japan. You know, the manga just randomly starts to get popular, and then maybe it gets an anime. So who knows? some of these might get an anime. So that comes in at number 9. That's a new one, of course. Fire Force Volume 1, so it's the first volume, so it's very new. I'm guessing sometimes they get ones like Nichijou, which I feel like the manga for that came out a long time ago, but it just wasn't licensed for English readers. But I'm pretty sure this is a new one. So it wasn't on last week, so it has no previous ranking. And then Princess Jellyfish Volume 3 is at number 10, also new that week, of November 6th through 12th. So that was that week. Going on to the next week, we have again The Legend of Zelda. That manga is very popular. You're gonna see it stayed at 1. So the last week it had moved up from 2 to 1. This week it stayed at number 1. My Hero Academia moves up to the number 2 spot. So My Hero Academia Volume 6 is at number 2. Last week it was at number 3. or not last week, but the last week that we covered. Then One Punch Man number 9 goes down. It was at number 2 before, but now it moves to My Hero Academia 6's previous spot in the 3rd place. One Piece 80 jumps from 6 to 4, so it goes up a bit. Google 1 goes from 4 to 5. It goes down a bit, down 1. Google 9 goes down because Google 1 took its place, I believe. Something like that. Yeah, it was at 5, so it moves down to 6. One Punch Man number 8. One Punch Man number 1 used to be at number 8. Now it moves down 1 to be at number 7, so that's slowly edging downwards. So probably when we start to get to where we don't have as many more new manga coming out, we will, which is actually this week, we don't have any new ones, but this week's one, which just came out today, might have some new ones. So that might mean that One Punch Man 1 gets pushed out, but who knows? 'Cause it seems like it's going down, so it might go to like the number 1 or number 2 spot very soon, because it's going from 9 to 8 and now to 7. So moving down there, Attack on Titan number 1 then comes in at number 8 next, jumping in, which means it wasn't on the list for a little while, but it jumps in again, even though it is old. Next, One Punch Man 8 also jumps in at number 9, and then Google 8 jumps in at number 10. So those are both, or all 3 of those are old volumes, but they're more popular volumes, so you'll find them usually in the lists, just because when stuff like Fire Force drops out after the first week, because it was popular enough to get in that first week, but not to stay on very long, so then those will be on it. So now we get to this week. So finally, we're back. So starting next week, we will look at this week's and kind of compare, as well as now I will tell you how many times some of these have been on the list, because I did leave that off because it would just take too long to do that. So, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Legendary Edition, Volume 1, The Legend of Zelda manga, is still at number 1 this week. So wow, it's doing really good. Next is Tokugo 1, which goes from 5 to 2, so of course that moves up because it isn't a slower week, but that's a very popular volume. I actually haven't read that volume yet. Yeah, I haven't started Tokugo. So I mean, it's not that popular, right? If I haven't read it, it must not be that popular. Anyway, next is Black Butler 23 at number 3. It is new for this week, so no previous ranking for it. Tokugo 1 has been on the week 73 weeks, and The Legend of Zelda manga has been on 4 weeks, the 4 that we covered. So then moving on, we've got Tokugo 9, which moves from 6 to 4, so it moves up a bit on the list, which is good. If you move down, then that's bad. It's been on the list 6 times, so not bad. It came out probably like 6 months ago. I think it stayed on since it came out, so that's good. One Punch Man number 9 moves from 3 to 5, so it's going down now. It might fall off the list soon, but who knows. The One Punch Man and Tokyo Ghouls usually stay on the list. It's been on the list 4 weeks, I believe, also the 4 weeks that Zelda has been on. Next we have Black Butler 1, which is at number 7. Probably gets a boost from the new volume of Black Butler. The first volume has been on the list 46 times because, of course, it's popular manga and anime, so it's going to be on the list a lot, especially since it first came out, and then when the other 22 and 23 now volumes came out, it probably pushed it back up whenever a new volume came out, so I guess good for it. It's done pretty good. 46 is not bad. No, most probably wouldn't get to that much. Next is Naruto, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring. I'm sorry if I said Naruto wrong. I say it like that. I don't say Naruto. I'm sure that's wrong, right? Anyway, jumps in again this week. It's been on the list 9 times, so it's not a new volume or anything. It's not even a volume really. It's just a separate story because of course Naruto ended. So it just jumps on kind of randomly. I'm not sure. It was on 9 times, so it was on a long time ago. It seems like. Well, maybe earlier this year. It was on for a couple months, but I don't know. Something. Next is Blue Exorcist, number 1 at number 9, at the 9th spot. It's not new, but from the hype of the upcoming anime of Blue Exorcist, it probably got some boosts there, and so now people are getting the first volume of the manga to read a bit and get ready for that, maybe. It has been on the list 20 weeks, but obviously I don't think in a while. And then last but not least, Assassination Classroom, Volume 1 comes in at number 10. It's been on the list 21 weeks. So, pretty good for it. So that finishes off the list. So next week, will Legend of Zelda be able to keep its record of times at being at the number 1 space? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on what comes out next week. I don't know. So it's always surprising to see, because sometimes, like, will One Piece come out this week or next week or the week after? Who knows? Sometimes they come out like the next week. Sometimes it takes a month to get the next volume. But it's very fun to do that, so I will keep doing that every single Friday. So I hope you enjoyed this second episode of Tacky Time. It was just as long, pretty much, as the first episode. The next episodes will be shorter, even though we might have more stuff to talk about in terms of actual news and stuff. We won't have to go through all that, talking about all those New York Times lists, because we won't have 4, we'll just have 1. So it'll probably take, I would say, half the time, probably, of this. So anyway, I'll see you then. And remember, what time is it? It's go time!